Now, Sports Talk with Broads. Here's Hunter Brody.
This is why, if you're Rob Thompson, you don't change the lineup. This is why you keep Kyle Schwarber and Rhys Hoskins in their home up at number 1 and number 2, because there is belief that they will be able to find their stride and find the big time at bat. And that's exactly what happened to blow it all open. 9-1. They wax that ass and they take a 2-1 series lead. They're one game away from the NLCS. The Braves were desperate, damn it. You put in Spencer Strider because you know that you need this game. You can't fall behind with this type of electricity in South Philadelphia. They could say all they want about how this is a normal road game and there's anything out of the ordinary about this. They've played in many hostile environments. Not this! Not a team that has been hungry and deprived for baseball in October. Did you see that atmosphere? Did you see what happened when Rhys Hoskins threw the bat down? You could see from so many different angles, so many clips of the rally towels all over the place. Gene Segura has like a 70,000-foot vertical. He's jumping as high as humanly possible. That was outrageous. No, it's different. It's different. It's not the same as playing on the road in any other city. That's stupid. That's dumb of you to make that type of statement. They had to throw Spencer Strider out there because it was their last shot. He's filthy when healthy. He's got nasty stuff when he's actually stretched out. But he hit a wall. And I felt like that was the Braves throwing everything our way. Charlie Morton, cute. Okay, that's cute. But Spencer Strider is a star. And they knew how important this was to try and set a tone here in Philadelphia. And even if they pulled him earlier, because he was on his game, I mean, he only gave you a couple to the point where if you were to yank him earlier, too much of a bullpen game at that point. So I think we're going to date back to that decision and say that's where you screwed up. But I got to look at Bryson Stott and say that was beautiful. That 9-pitch at bat and then he wins the battle, that sets everything up. Keep in mind, Marsh is on first base, and then they try and pick him off. He goes to third base. That also played a factor. There's a lot that happened in that inning. The threat of Kyle Schwarber forced them to intentionally walk him to get to Rhys Hoskins. Which a lot of people did, if you changed the lineup and did something different, then you wouldn't have even been in that position for Rhys to be at the plate for his big playoff moment. So Rob Thompson, once again, does the right thing. And this is why you can go back to the last show that we did, the last post-game podcast after Game 2. Bench Rhys, get rid of Rhys, and there's still things to be disappointed about. How you drop the double play ball is unacceptable. Now, I'm pissed off at Bone because he did a couple of ugly things, too. He missed the one ground ball that went in between him and Bryson Stott. He needs to make that play. And then he had a horrible throw to Rhys Hoskins, but Rhys is also a first baseman in Major League Baseball, so we think. Well, actually, we know that he's not, but in theory, that's where he's playing. First baseman have to scoop that ball. So it was horrendous from that level. And early on, Aaron Nola, who dominated through his 6 innings, he kept it where it needed to be. He kept it 0-0 when it seemed some of the fellas had to work through and grind through a bit of nerves. And I asked Ricky Bo this because I'm sure it's not easy. And we talked so much about how many days they've been away from Citizens Bank Park, how many days they've been away from home. You finally come back. But is there any sort of, we always talk about blessing and curses. Is there any curses involved with coming home and the moment being very large, it keeps people more tense. The angst is there in the fans. I'll date back to that Mets game against the Padres in Game 3 of the wild card series. There's added pressure when you go down and everyone's on the edge of their seat, but it's uncomfortable. You hear some groans. If you are to lose the lead, or if it's a tied game 0-0 in the beginning, the other team strikes first. Now you're playing from behind, and the fans try to manufacture life. Now that didn't have to be the case today because it was all organic, baby. But I'm just looking at the other way. Is it possible that that happens? And I think in the first couple of innings, maybe you saw that from Bohm and Rhys. But once their offense exploded, it was all she wrote. Bryson Stott, that can't go unnoticed. This kid is young. This kid is growing. And I thought that there's been times where he has looked overmatched and looked overpowered. Not there. And there was a lot of fear when Strider was the one that was named the starter. I don't know why. Because if you got him to throw a bunch of pitches, you know that you can get into that bullpen. And if you get into that bullpen, that's your recipe for success. Knock him out of the game. Force him to throw a lot. And there's no denying that when he was locked in, though, gross. Some off-speed pitches. Gene Segura, I'm not mad at him at all. It's just that's how he's able to dominate you as a pitcher. But he throws the balls on the plane to be a strike on the outside part of the plate. And, well, it just dips and it goes into the dirt. And you're swinging and you look like a fool. But that's how it happens. Once he started to lose velocity, that velocity dipped pretty quickly. I'm surprised they took so long to yank him out. But I go back to the word desperate. This Braves team is all about winning, but it is different without Freddie Freeman. There was a comfortability factor with him. Matt Olson's a good player, but it's not the same. And I think you're seeing this team somewhat smell that too. Like, we got him. Our Timberland boot is on the jugular. We just got to stomp down tomorrow. Rob Thompson says that he's going with Thor for Game 4. Unfortunately, I have to agree with him that this might be your best option. Not really Kyle Gibson. See, Kyle Gibson can miss more bats, but he has been awful over the last few starts. And then Thor has the most experience. Been in big moments before. He's not that pitcher anymore. But I think starting him and having a quick leash is fine. Maybe backpack a Bailey Falter and work on your toes and somewhat do in-game adjustments just based off how the game is playing out. This might be your best bet. We'll see how they react. The thing is, if the offense is grooving and the offense figured it out, Kyle Schwarber got his first hit of the postseason. But do not overlook the fact that him batting leadoff, which a lot of morons out there thought would be dumb, was the reason why Rhys was able to get to the plate. Because you don't just intentionally walk anyone there. You are afraid of Kyle Schwarber. You are afraid of 46 home runs. Granted, Rhys Hoskins was struggling. And yes, lefty at the plate and Kyle is different than a righty and Rhys. I gotcha. I know how this played out. I know what they were thinking. They were also afraid of Kyle Schwarber. And everyone who said, put Stott up there, put Marsh up there, put Segura up there, put Sosa up there. I heard it all. I heard it all. No! Dumb. This is your team. This is what you ride or die with. And Bryce Harper, whoo-hoo-hoo! One swing of the bat changes everything. Now he's hitting moonshots. The ball to center field, that was a double, probably should have been caught. It seemed like Michael Harris actually got that in his glove, and when he bounced off the wall, the ball kind of fell there. But, hey, you smack it that hard and force a center fielder to run that far, you're going to get some opportunities and cash out on it. And he did. Nick Castellanos with an inside-out swing. Knocks in a run. He got on the score sheet. He actually looks like a threat in the batter's box now. How many times did it look like he was just going to roll over and be nothing and have a zero part of success at that plate? He looks defeated before he even stands in the box sometimes. Now there's a bit of swag. Now there's an arrogance about that stance. He looks determined. He looks like he knows he actually can win the battle. And that's a huge difference on the depth of this lineup. Especially when you're on the other side and you're on the mound and you now realize that, damn it, You're telling me after JT. Well, really, after Schwarbs, after Rhys, after JT, after Bryce, after Nick. When does it end? A little breather with Marsh. But Stott's going to work your AB. Stott's going to work your pitch count up. Gene is a mean hitter. Not Bryce, but Rhys took that personally. He took that out of the Gene Segura notepad. Because Gene seems to get disgusted when teams intentionally walk him. You remember? He sprinted to the plate the last time this happened and delivered. Well, Rhys Hoskins took that personally, too. Did you see how fast he was running around those bases? That was absurd. He couldn't wait to get back to the dugout. He couldn't wait to do his celebration with the fellas. And apparently we found out post-game that we ain't losing is what Bryce has been saying to the team for a while now, and even said it when that moment happened. Apparently, Rhys said that, yeah, Bryce has been saying it. Is this the side of the leadership that we've been questioning for a little bit of time on who is Bryce? What is his voice like? How do people hear it? How often is it? What does he say? Well, Bryce is in there on the reg and daily, and even during the most intense spots. We ain't losing. All right. Well, let's use that. Let's take that, and let's make sure we apply it to Game 4. The fans. I was so damn impressed. We knew it was going to be nasty. We knew it was going to be aggressive. We knew it was going to be outrageous. And it somehow even overseeded all of our expectations when on a scale 1 to 10, we figured it would be a 37. We figured it would be a 38. It was somehow a 60. And you're telling me tomorrow you could go to the CS? That's on the line? We can follow that up? I can't stress enough, though, how Aaron Nola handled things when it got a bit murky. The last few starts for Nola, getting into the playoffs, his first postseason nod, and now this. Once again, I just said it with we knew that the crowd was going to hit a certain level. I don't know if I knew Aaron Nola had this level in him. I swear, I really did. I'm just going to be honest. I knew he's a good pitcher, and I knew that he potentially could have been phenomenal. But the September storylines, coming up small, big outings late in September to get in, not really performing well. He's now dominating the postseason. You'd be a liar to say that you saw this in him all the time. There's very few, very minor amount of Aaron Nola diehard stands out there that fall in the category. But based off of what his track record was, there were reasons to feel a little bit nervous about him. There were reasons to wonder if he could hit that max level. This is his max level, and it's scary. And guys on the other team are getting lost. They're questioning, they're guessing, they're getting fooled. He doesn't overpower you, but he pitches so smart, and he pitches with such confidence, and his location is unreal. And now you're starting to wonder what's coming next. That's when he can drop a nice off-speed pitch on you. Then you're fooled. Wow. I mean, I can't even wrap my head around this. Now, this game started at 4:30. So for about an hour and a half, we were still doing the show on the Fanatic. And NBC Sports Philadelphia actually posted the video, but I'll play the audio for you. This was live in time when Rhys Hoskins hit the home run. It's about 27 seconds long. This is what it sounded like when Rhys went yard.
Perhaps that is true. All right, who wants to go first with their picks? Oh, my goodness.
Don't tell.
Oh, my goodness.
You're ahead of me.
Yeah, you're ahead of me, too. I'm nervous.
No,
wait.
He took it as disrespect. He took it as disrespect. He took it as disrespect. He took it as disrespect.
Did you see that?
3-1 home run for Rhys Hoskins.
Did you see that?
That's what I'm talking about. He took it as disrespect.
That was such a journey. Woo! Damn! How many of you out there are going to go back to YouTube and check out the highlights, the MLB extended highlights, and watch them on repeat? Let's be honest. We all probably rewatched Rhys Hoskins spiking the bat as many times as humanly possible, playing it on a loop nonstop. There's one camera angle when it's behind Rhys, so you see the back of him, and it pans to the dugout when he's running to the first base side. And if you see the rally towels and you see everyone rise behind the dugout, all the white jerseys, all the white pinstripes, you threw the powder blues in there, you saw some grays, and you see the red rally towels going bonkers, and it just kept going and going and going. It was just something that gets you in your feelings, man. It really does. So I'm so proud of this baseball team. They didn't do everything as crisp as I was like defensively, because sometimes, that's how this game goes. And that's not how this team is built. Game 2, whether it was Austin Riley or Dansby Swanson, they shined. And when it was 0-0, I wondered if this game comes back to who's going to play Sharper D. Oh, no. That's how tight games go. And there was some traffic, self-inflicted wounds. It was important to strike first. It was important to get the first run. When Bryce Harper was stranded in Game 2 and Bohm and Marsh couldn't score him, that kind of is a bit deflating. Because in these games, playing from behind is a difference maker. It's not impossible to overcome. If you're down 1-0, if you're down 2-0, one swing of the bat, a 3-run home run, and you're taking the lead, or a 2-run home run and you're tied. It happens within a blink of an eye. But because every pitch matters so much, and because the fine details are so intensified, that one run sometimes does feel like 2. It does feel like 3. It does feel like 4. It adds pressure. There's more weight. It's not impossible to remove the weight, but it makes it that much more harder. And at this point, the more pressure you can apply to a team is what needs to be done. So that's the difference. Who struck first? And getting someone over to third, this time it was Marsh compared to Bryce Harper in Game 2. See the difference in the outcome? One team gets rolling, puts up a crooked number. Keep those crooked numbers coming. Can your offense make up for your deficiencies in the field? Tonight? Yes. Tomorrow? Please. I hope. I pray. Please. I wonder if anyone thinks that they should change Kyle Schwarber and Rhys Hoskins today. Just spitballing. We're going to get some reactions to the game. Let's do it.
What a game. You're going to walk Kyle Schwarber when he's 0 for 16 in the playoffs to face Rhys Hoskins, who takes you deep on the first pitch? What are you thinking, Braves? What are you thinking? And then you're going to pitch to Bryce Harper, who follows Rhys up and mashes the ball out? Come on, boys. Come on. If the top hitters in this lineup can hit like this, we can beat anyone. We can win the World Series. However, Rhys is defending has to improve. He has to make these plays in the field, man. He has to pick that ball that Bohm throw. It wasn't a great throw, but he has to pick that ball. A major league first baseman picks that ball. Also, excited to see how it goes tomorrow. Nervous for Syndergaard starting, but excited to see if these pitchers can rise to the occasion and pull through for the rest of the team. Let's go, baby. I'm excited. Let's go.
I don't know what to expect from Thor. I mean, he has been all over, but he doesn't miss many bats, and this is a lineup that can do some lethal damage. So if you don't miss many bats, the thing is, we have a poor defense, and we are afraid of what happens defensively. Yet what Noah Syndergaard can do is maybe get some guys to ground out, which means then you need to rely on that for Noah Syndergaard to accomplish his goal. So, it definitely is a little bit shaky, and we'll kind of see how everything goes. But I do think even before we see the results, before we know everything, and we see how the game plays out, it's still one of your smartest moves that you can do just based off of your current personnel. I'm not ready to say in a do-or-go-home game, a do-or-die game, it's not really do-or-die because you're not going home, but a chance to put your stamp on it. let's go to Bailey Falter. I don't mind Bailey Falter in relief or Bailey Falter if you got to add on to what Noah Syndergaard does. If it's 3 innings for Noah, 2 innings for Falter. I'm just saying, I'm not against anything like that. But before the game begins, I get it. I get going with Noah Syndergaard just because he's been around and experience matters at this time of the year. It really does. What were they thinking? I'll tell you what they're thinking. And I'm going to be pissed off with a lot of people right now saying, put Kyle Schwarber 6. I see you right now. That's dumb. That's dumb. You're 170 games into this season. You play 162 plus the post. However many games that is. 170-ish. And now you're moving. Dumb. I see people screaming to put Stott at number 1. Dumb. This is your team. And this is why you're here. Because of the way Rob Thompson has played it now. You are here because of the buttons Rob Thompson has pushed. Dumb to think otherwise. Dumb. You're dumb. That's what it is. It's dumb. Kyle Schwarber is a threat. There is a fear in Kyle Schwarber. It doesn't matter if Kyle Schwarber is hitting 0. Kyle Schwarber could do so much that they are afraid no matter what. It doesn't matter if he's 0 for 90. It doesn't matter if he's 0 for 72. It doesn't matter if he's 0 for 1,002. It doesn't matter if he's 0 for 1,502. You are afraid of what he can do with one swing. I want to have my guy who can do that getting the most at-bats. Bat him 6th, they say. Do you know how many at-bats you lose if you put him 6th? That is horrendous baseball decision. That's what it is. Yet the Yankees have Aaron Judge leading off, albeit he's struggling, but it's not because he's leading off. It's still smart to get one of your best bats, the most at-bats that he possibly can. You have him hitting 1, Anthony Rizzo hitting 2. Welcome to baseball. This is how baseball's played, and you won this game because of how you did it. You lost game 2 because their offense was quiet. People just assume that there's one way to play because 20 years ago, it was played a certain way. As if the obvious thing is when Bryson Stott or Gene Segura is hitting 1, then they go 4 for 4. Although, when you look at Gene Segura's numbers, we'll do this. And I shouldn't be this mad, but I just see it nonstop, and I'm seeing it right now. It's so bad. And I see everybody complaining about it in the chat right now as we're doing this live, okay? You want to know what Gene Segura is hitting at the top of the lineup? I'll tell you. It's not good. Let me go to I'm at his game log right now. I need to actually go to his splits. All right, 2022 splits. Batting order. Batting first, he's hitting 180. Batting second, he's hitting 133. Gene Segura is way better, hitting 7th, 347. Hitting 6th, batting 300. He's a 6, 7, 8 hitter-ish. He's better when he's at the bottom of the lineup. Crazy, man. Crazy. Oh, we won in spite of Schwarbs' mediocrity. Oh, geez. I'm just going to let that one go. Imagine watching baseball with that type of mind. Holy hell. Let's take our next call.
All right, bros, let's break this down. Rhys Hoskins, he hit that homer. Offense, beautiful. Defense, my little sister, she's 4 years old. She can barely hold a ball. Probably could still have caught that. It was disgusting. They should not have got a single ball, a single run, a single anything. Dominated. That's what I like to see. Peak performance. We're going to do great tomorrow. Go Phils.
They did dominate. They absolutely dominate. And I joked around before the game again, wondering what it would sound like, what it would feel like, what it would look like if they won 14-1. If they just bent them over and beat them down. They just crushed them and took their soul. And, I want to know what this Braves team is going to look like tomorrow, because I have been questioning their mental makeup and their change in culture due to losing Freddie Freeman. This will tell me a lot about who they have and who they are and who they've become since the massive trade went down. If they push this back to Game 5 and show us something, if they just smack the Phillies in the face and this isn't even competitive and they do the same exact thing to us that we just did to them, I'd go, whoa, okay. I know they're tough, and I know that they're deep in the roots and their core is legit. So it wouldn't be the most shocking thing in the world if they showed heart, because they're not going to roll over and die, and they win the division year after year because of it. But even if you miss a little tiny bit of last year's team, that could be the difference in escaping this series or not. That could be the difference in NLCS or NLDS. The fine line in the postseason could be that tiny, super, super, super little. And I don't want to downplay the loss of Freddie Freeman, because that's not little at all. And the separation between him and Matt Olson is kind of big. No disrespect to Olson, that's how nasty Freddie Freeman is. But I think the way this team is locked in right now, knowing how important it is to close it out here, no one wants to go back to Atlanta and have to play that game. What's Zach Wheeler's status? Can he go on short rest? He threw, 79 pitches in Game 2. So where is he exactly? We know we're having difficulty stretching him out. He seems to have that one inning where it's not his smoothest. He hit Ronald Acuna Jr. He walked Dansby Swanson. He didn't get help from Rhys. But after that, there was a hit up the middle after the dribbler. So runs were scored. You don't want to play around with that. I think they go in tomorrow with the idea of, this is it. We win this game and we're moving on. We can't let this slip. If not now, when? If not in front of these people, then shame on us. I do agree, though, that Rhys is problematic there, and I'm sure there's going to be something else that bothers us. This isn't just going to go away. He seems to somewhat have a bit of the nerves, a bit of the yips. That ball hit him right in the glove, and he dropped it. The broadcast couldn't even believe it. They were talking about how they were walking away or getting ready to put the headset down, thinking the inning was over. It'll probably pop up again, unfortunately.
What an absolutely dominant, crazy win. Like, this place was absolutely nuts. It's hard to win in the South Philadelphia Insane Asylum, and the Braves learned that firsthand. This place was going crazy, chanting DUI and Marcelo Zuna, doing the Braves chop whenever they got a chance. This is probably the best night at Citizens Bank Park that this team has given its fans since Roy Halladay's no-hitter against the Reds 12 years ago. This is just one incredible moment, and let's finish them off tomorrow, man. This is what a ride, man.
It is a great ride. It's awesome to see this city right now. Sixers basketball starting up. Flyers win 5-2 against the Devils, although that's probably going to be short-lived hype. The Phillies going on this run. Eagles are undefeated. Not one soul has talked about Eagles-Cowboys when one team's 4-1, the other team's 5-0, and it's at the link. And I'm sure it's going to be fine when it's 7:30, 7:45, unless it's Game 5, and that's at 4:30, and that bleeds right into Sunday Night Football. We probably won't have a quick emotional switch depending on the outcome. If you win that game, it's probably easier to settle down to watch the Eagles, but maybe not, because we're like, in what world? The adrenaline rolling through our bodies is probably monstrous. So if there's a no Game 5, it's going to be that much easier, and then we'll have some juice then. But, I mean, really, no one has even talked about that because of what this baseball team has done and because we have been in a dehydration mode of this feeling. And everything's clicking. Everything's going well. I'll even give the Union a shout-out because they have a postseason game next Thursday. One of the coolest things I've ever watched happen today. And I'm pretty damn positive I'll be at the ballpark tomorrow to see it live. Just saying. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me. You guys are the best. I will catch you all on the next one.